This is the midweek reset where we take a moment to recalibrate in the middle of the week because we have come down from the Mondays and into Tuesday, and we're in this kind of midweek slump that we get in when there's a lot going on, maybe a little bit anxious because of how much you have to catch up on after coming back out to work. Maybe there's a lot of stuff on your mind that came from the start of the week. And this is your opportunity to just reset and recalibrate and get back to center so that you can end your week on a high note instead of flagging towards the latter half of the week. So, this is an opportunity for you to get centered and come back to self. So I want you to find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed. And even though this midweek reset is for the week of April 6th, whenever you're watching this, you can watch this anytime. It is still going to be relevant. It's still going to be what you need to hear whenever it finds you. So don't worry when you're seeing this. You can go ahead and just take a moment and just relax and settle in and recalibrate and reset. Now, before we get into it, I am your coach, Tene. And if you are interested in more in depth coaching from me, you can check the links in the description or in the email that you send, whether you're getting this in your email or whether you're seeing this on YouTube. However, you're getting this, you can check the links, you can respond to the email and tell me you're interested in one on one coaching, and I will get back to you and I'll tell you what that could possibly look like. So I am honestly a little bit ill coming into this midweek reset. I came with a little bout of food poisoning over the Easter holidays from my own Easter adventures. So I've just been kind of resting and taking it slow this week. I've been doing my work slowly, but trying not to get too bogged down into anything just because I've been allowing my body to rest. So if you are in a similar boat, not necessarily food poisoning, but if you're just in a similar energetic boat where you're kind of slow this week, that's totally fine. And that's not even talking about the energies that we have going on astrologically, because we're getting into that kind of Aries energy where we have this Aries stellium where we have all of these energies happening in Aries. So it's a bit of a rough energetic time. And if you've been watching what's been going on in the news and you are just like, what is even going on in the world? That is why we are here to reset today, because all of the things that are going on, yes, need our attention, but you also need your own attention. You also need to focus on what you need to nourish yourself. So you need to have this balance between focusing on what's going on outside and what's going on internally. So that's what we're going to get into with this reset. So with that, let's get into this card pull. As usual, I pull some cards before to understand the energies of what's going forward and to do a little group coaching. So the first two cards that we have are the Hierophant and the Six of Cups. And I really feel like this is the energy of the beginning of this week, especially this Hierophant. Some of you maybe have really gone into a bout of devotion, especially coming out of Lent and into this new period coming towards the end of Ramadan. Coming out of Ramadan because Eid was only 20th, right? So we're coming out of this deep reflective period where we had Lent, we had Ramadan, and we're moving out of this reflective religious period, a lot of religiosity. And maybe some of you have renewed your faith. Maybe some of you have just spent this time really focusing on whatever your spiritual practice is and spending more intentional time with your spirituality and with your practice, and that's great. That's a great time to do that. It's a wonderful period of time for you to really spend time in devotion, whatever that looks like for you. And if you are Catholic or Christian, maybe that looks like you started by going to church. If you are Muslim, maybe you were more devoted. Maybe you were reading the Quran, maybe you were going to mosque, maybe you were fasting. And a lot of Christians may also have fasted during Lent as well. So this is this kind of devotionary period that you're coming out of this week. And with that, you may have found yourself being one, a little low energy, and two, reflective. So there's this energy of thinking about your childhood, thinking about your childhood self, your inner self, your childhood needs, your childhood wounds, and what you need to do to nourish and comfort the inner child within you, and what wounds are coming up to be healed in this period. So you may have felt at the beginning of this week this energy like you are in retreat, like you're licking your wounds a little bit, like there's some traumas that came up that you needed to process, that maybe you felt exhausted. You could have felt just really, really tired. You've been sleeping a lot. You didn't want to go out as much as you previously did. And you just had this period of deep retreat into self and into self reflection, where you could kind of cocoon and allow yourself to heal a little bit. And that is totally normal. And I want you to know that there's nothing wrong with you needing these periods of reflection. There's nothing wrong with you needing to take some time away from the hustle and bustle of life. And the long Easter weekend is a perfect period to do that, because it is a time where a lot of people in the world are withdrawing, are spending that time reflecting. But what could have happened over this last week, since the beginning of this week, is that you may have emerged feeling a little vulnerable, feeling a little afraid. Maybe you felt unsupported, like you don't have the right support systems and support mechanisms around you, and you felt lonely. You felt alone, and you just needed to take some time to heal. And that's okay, because the message here is that the worst is gone. The worst is gone. You are coming out on the other side of that healing. You are picking up the pieces. You are starting to emerge from this cocoon again. And maybe you were in this cocoon all during the Lenten period. And now you can come back out and re-emerge into the fullness of yourself. And that's the second half of the message today, where we have this beautiful Nine of Pentacles. And I'm going to try to block her out so I don't get censored. And this beautiful card, this is one of my favorite cards. I'm trying to like just not get censored by showing this card. But it's the World card, and it's a beautiful card of completion and abundance. So there's this amazing, abundant energy that is here and available for you. And you are coming back into that, to that abundance, into that self confidence, into that self belief, into that positive mindset. Because something that you may have noticed as well is that your mindset may have been quite negative over the past few days, where you've gotten into these thought spirals and this heavy self-critical energy, where maybe you've been asking yourself, why am I not doing more? Why am I not further along? Why am I not making more money? Is something wrong with me? Maybe I should do this differently. Maybe I should do that differently. Maybe I should abandon this project and do this. And all of these thoughts have been coming up into your head. These what ifs, these maybe I shoulds, these maybe I shouldn'ts have been coming up in your head, and they've been clogging you up mentally with these feelings of self doubt. And what's happening, and the message that is coming through for the latter half of this week is to remember your own strength and your own power, right? Remember your own strength and your own power. Remember that all that you have worked for, all the work that you have put in, and all the abundance that you have to reap in your garden, right? There is so much that is there for you and that's going for you, and it's natural to get self critical sometimes. But what typically keeps us in these self critical patterns is when you stay in those thought spirals, where you don't break the thought spiral. So this happens to me a lot when I can see that it's like a negative thought leads to another negative thought leads to another negative thought, and we keep going, we keep going, we keep going down. And this is where skills like mindfulness come in, because you can interrupt those thought spirals and choose another thought. So there is a degree of awareness to be developed here in understanding and noticing when you are getting into those negative thought spirals, and then bringing yourself out of it. And you can use mindfulness, you can use things like EFT tapping, you can use bilateral stimulation, which is when you stimulate both sides of the body, like you do the butterfly hug. That's a great way to regulate your nervous system and interrupt the patterns. But by far, my favorite way to pattern interrupt is to just choose something different. Whatever you're doing, just stop whenever you notice yourself going into those negative thought spirals. And it literally goes like this. You stop whatever you're doing and you change your environment. So if you're inside, you go outside. If you're in your room, you go somewhere else. You could call a friend. You change a TV show. You get up and you go for a walk or a jog, because, somatic stimulation is a great way to do that. Or maybe you just stretch. You get up and you stretch. You do some yoga. You do some light stretching. I have gotten really into these, what do you call it? It's not feng shui is the only thing that's coming to mind, and that's very wrong. It's not that. It's not qigong or tai chi, but it's these movements that you see on reels and on Instagrams and on YouTube shorts, and it's like, oh, Asian grandmas knew the secret to it. It's those things. But I've gotten so into those because they're such short little exercises, because you could do 50 reps, 30 seconds, a minute of that, and it's a really easy way to just snap yourself out of those patterns and switch your brain into a different mode and move into something different. So you're really being asked to remember your power here. Remember that you are a sacred temple. Remember that you are abundant and that you are confident and that you are beautiful. This may also be a call for you to up your self-care routine. So if you've been lapsing on your self-care a little bit, this is the time to get back into that. Take a lovely luxurious bath or shower, pamper yourself, oil your skin. I did my self-care this week was doing my hair. I changed my hair. I'm very excited by it. I really like how it looks now. And I've gotten really into doing different things with my hair, because there was this, or you may not know, there was this kind of stigma when I was growing up about locks and the lack of versatility of locks. But I found that you can do so many things with locks now, so I'm very excited, and I'm trying new things with my hair. So that was my self-care for the week. So take time to pamper yourself, adorn yourself, put on jewelry, do your nails, wear something that makes you feel good instead of just wearing your sweatshirt and sweatpants all the time. Get dressed up. Go outside. If you're a guy watching this, put some oil in your bed if you have some. Oil your scalp. Oil your hair. Guys, please oil your hair and oil your beds. This is not just a thing for women. When you there is something amazing about washing your hair and then oiling it and moisturizing it. It just looks so good. It looks so shiny. You know, doing the hair is not just for the girlies. Doing the hair is for everybody. Do your hair. And even if you're bald, you can still do your hair because you can give yourself a really nice head massage and oil that scalp. You can do so many things. So get into some self care. And remember that caring for your physical body also cares for your mental body, right? So the physical and the mental, they reflect each other. So when you take care of yourself physically, your mental health reflects that. So remember to do that, right? And get into some affirmations, get into reminding yourself that you are capable, that you are confident, that you are amazing at what you do, that you're a great parent, an amazing facilitator, amazing worker, whatever it is that you do. Just get into those affirmations and so that you can get out of the self-critical mindset. So that's a bit of a mouthful, but that is your coaching message for the week. And I think that is exactly the message that is needed this week, especially as we move out of this internal self reflective period and move into this action period where you might have a lot going on and there's a lot that you're doing. Just remembering to bring the self care practices along with you on that journey so that you can actually stay in balance and do what it is that you are trying to do effectively. So, now that we have done the group coaching part, we're going to get into our mindful release and reset so that we can set intentions for the rest of the week. So at this point, I really want you to find a quiet place if you haven't yet, where you can just be undisturbed for about 5 to 10 minutes and sit comfortably, or you can lay down, lower your gaze, or close your eyes. And let's get into this mindful release. Take a deep breath in through your nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it and breathe out 2, 3, 4. Hold and breathing in for 7. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out through the mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And breathe in for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe normally. And I want you to imagine that you are standing on the sand looking out at the ocean. It is a beautiful sunny day, and you can hear the waves, you can hear the wind, you can hear the birds. step forward into the ocean. With each breath you take one step in. Feel the cool water over your feet. Take another step in over your ankles. And another. Water's at your knees. Another step in to your mid-thigh. At your hips. Keep walking. At your belly button. And now the water's at your waist. Stop here and feel how weightless your body feels as the waves gently lap around you. As the water surrounds you, imagine that it is washing away all of your worries, your anxieties, your self-critical thoughts, the what ifs, the maybe I shoulds. They're all being taken away. They're just going into the water. Breathe in and release all the worries into the water as you exhale. Breathe in again and release all of the tension, all of the anxiety, all of the overthinking, the overwhelm, the negativity. Release it into the water. Take one more deep breath in here. And if you feel called to do so, imagine yourself submerging beneath the surface of the water, or you can stay standing. And as you submerge yourself within the water, just feel how weightless you feel as the water takes away all of the anxiety and all of the worries and all of the self-doubt and self-criticism and anything that has been weighing you down this week. It just takes it away and you feel weightless. And exhale. Turn back to the shore and let's make our way back out of the water. Notice how with each step back to the shore, you feel lighter and lighter than you did before, because the ocean, the water has cleansed and taken away all of the things that have been weighing you down. And you feel the sun shining down on you, the warmth of the sun on your skin as you make your way out of the water and back to the shore. and the sun fills you with golden light and warmth and positivity and confidence and self-assuredness and abundance and hope and light. Breathe all of that in here. Feel it fill your body from head to the soles of your feet. And exhale. Place your hands on your heart here and take a moment to set your intention for the rest of the week ahead. You can say it quietly to yourself or out loud. Take a deep breath in here. Squeeze your wrist. That's how you lock it in. Exhale. And open your eyes. And that brings us to the end of the midweek reset. I'm just giving you a second to come back. So my intention for the rest of the week is I have to do some writing, y'all. I have told you about my working process. It's called The Art of Being Petty. It is a work that is near and dear to my heart. And I finally got over the chapter 6 hump. I have been procrastinating on getting chapter 6 done for a while now, but I did set the intention over the weekend that I was going to get started on that, and I did not quite finish, but I am about 50% of the way there, so I need to write at least 2 chapters by the end of this week because I did set my deadline as April the 11th, which is in 3 days. So I am going to try my darndest to hit that deadline, but that means writing about 5 chapters in 3 days. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe I can get some hyper focus energy and just get into that. I'm hoping, I really am, because we got work to do, and my editor is going to be very cross with me if I don't deliver. So I do have to do that. And if you're interested in supporting my working process, please head over to my Buy Me a Coffee. It's buymeacoffee.com/Coach Tene. The link is in the description for this video. So please help me out because I have about $2,500 that I need to make in order to do all of the self-publishing things and get the ISBN and my artwork and my layouts done and all of that. And I already have my editor covered, I already have my writing coach covered, but I do have some other costs to do, so I would love if you can help me out. For that, any little helps. And if you are interested in working with me one-on-one, you can reply coaching to this video or this email, and I'll reach out to you and give you some details about how you can do that. So that is the midweek reset for this week. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking some time out to focus on yourself. And thank yourself for doing that too, because you did this for you. This midweek reset is something that you did for yourself. You took half an hour for yourself just to reset and release and set your intentions for the rest of the week, and that is extremely powerful that you did that for yourself. So give yourself a big hug, and I will see you next week for the next midweek reset. Same time, same place. Bye.